Today, I'd like to share with you some thoughts about extreme weather. One of our concerns from a theological point of view has been lately about the environment. Certainly, Pope Francis, with Laudate Si, has made clear the importance of environmental teaching for our faith because we are stewards of the environment. We have been given a gift by God. And so, as a result of that gift, we have a responsibility to protect the environment. Some people have raised, of course, questions about the warming of the climate, uh, the disaster that can happen if there is too much warming, if our emissions are not properly controlled. And along with that concern, which is a real legitimate concern, of course, there's controversy about it. Some people deny that there is any climate change. They just say it's something that happens naturally. And so there's going to be that discussion back and forth, and they're looking for evidence to support certainly both positions. But one of the concerns that is sometimes raised is about the examples recently of what we call extreme weather. And so some people have said, well, is that perhaps related to climate change? And so that's an area naturally that scientists want to explore. And certainly from a theological point of view, we would be concerned as well because, this is our environment, this is our treasure, this is what we've been given. So we want to make sure that if extreme weather is being caused by climate change, that naturally we take action, we do something to stop that if possible. Just some observations. Extreme weather has become certainly more frequent and has become more severe. And human activities certainly continue to warm the climate. And that seems to be pretty much a common concern that the different human activities that we do in terms of our manufacturing cycle, in terms of our transportation cycle, these contribute to the rise in temperature in our environment. Small changes in the atmosphere can make significant impacts in terms of the environment, in terms of our weather. Shifts that affect humidity and temperature patterns can cause this. So, for example, they can concentrate energy, they can form clouds, and storms can certainly come out of that. Microscopic particles in the sky called aerosols. These become seeds for clouds, and moisture condenses around them. Now, some aerosols occur naturally from ocean spray. Others come from human activity, such as burning fossil fuels. That does create aerosols. So again, we have to be concerned. Are we creating something that can have a negative impact? Some aerosols, though, are positive. They help to cool the Earth's climate. They reflect the sun's rays back out to space. So not all aerosols are bad. Some have a positive effect because of the reflection of those rays. They're going to keep the Earth cooler. Other aerosols, though, absorb the sunlight, and the ones that absorb the sunlight, naturally, they would warm the atmosphere and they would contribute to global warming. So that would be our concern. They also interact with cloud droplets. They grow, they shrink, they freeze, and they melt within minutes and within seconds. It can change the characteristics of clouds and therefore of rain. These are the building blocks of all storm systems. And so we have to be concerned because how these systems occur naturally is going to be something that we have to take into consideration, and what can we do to stop these systems from occurring, if anything? Is it possible? What is our goal? Our goal really in terms of extreme weather, in terms of understanding the aerosols and the cloud system and the rain and the manufacture of storms, is to better understand, well, what is the cycle of clouds and aerosols? How do they combine? How do they interact to create this severe weather that we've been dealing with. And to better understand, therefore, the physical and the chemical properties of aerosols. And these properties naturally can change over time. And to find the factors that determine when a cloud starts to rain or snow, what are the factors involved, and can we in some way mitigate some of those more extreme examples and those extreme storms? What can we do to stop them, if anything? Um, and one of the things that we want to do is to see if aerosols actually strengthen storms. So Brookhaven Lab, our local lab, has been working on this, and they are creating new instruments that measure the dynamic properties in the atmosphere like aerosols. And the analysis they get is they use artificial intelligence, high-resolution computer models, stimulate the life cycles of aerosols, clouds, and storms. So with this modeling, we can get a sense of the interaction. And it explores the interactions between the atmosphere and our urban landscape. Trucks collect data in urban neighborhoods, and it looks for how urban planning can affect environmental equity. Evidence that residents of low-income neighborhoods, which tend to have fewer trees, often require more medical care for heat-related illness compared with those from more affluent neighborhoods. So again, this lack of trees leading to heat-related illness, that could be a concern in terms of how can we mitigate that and make it better for those in those neighborhoods. Mobile stations will help with the data collection on these issues so we have more data. So these mobile stations that go around can collect the data, we can analyze it, and we can make wise decisions. With predictions, there's of course some level of uncertainty. Conditions can change. So what is the role of science in this? The role of science is to assess the changes, to forecast possible consequences, and to identify solutions, developing more environmentally friendly infrastructure. So they look at perhaps long-term energy policies, better practices for managing water and other resources. So this is a positive development with our scientists to look at this issue of extreme weather, to look at this issue of aerosols, and how it can affect storms, the creation of these storms, and particularly how it might impact those in different neighborhoods, different landscapes, and can there be some equity in terms of this, and can there be possible solutions? All of this is very important, I think very significant for us from a theological point of view, because what it does is it says to us, how can I become a better steward of this gift of the environment? What can I do to protect it? What is my responsibility? How can I help? So again, a good example of religious concern working hand in hand with science to come up with a positive solution to make our world better, to improve the quality and the lives of all.